increased national insurance. Yep. Sure enough, we're going to have to pay more national insurance, which, as you said, Eric, is a problem because it was in their manifesto that they wouldn't increase national insurance. What they've done is increased, and wait for it, national insurance. But that's not the only U-turn they've done. I mean, recently, a while ago, they were saying that they don't like the idea of vaccine passports, and yet on the weekend we heard vaccine passports are coming in by the end of the month. So, I mean, none of this is as bad as when Boris Johnson, there was a headline about him saying that there would be no more children till the complete tally has been undertaken about how many kids he's got. And no, he popped a couple out since then. So no one should be surprised that there's a U-turn. And it's more about, I'm amazed they owned up to it, because for a while there was a talk. Jeremy Hunt was saying that it shouldn't be put on national insurance. It shouldn't be seen as a tax. It should be a levy. If you're taking money out of my pay, it's a tax, my friend. Like, I love the way they try and get around it is by legally changing the definition of the word tax. And with this government, when we hear that they're upping the national insurance payments, it just feels like we're weeks away of them deciding to torch the whole UK and just make a claim on it. It's the only way they're going to make any money out of this. One thing that shocked me, and I was listening through some of the details, I'm not going to get bogged down in too much of the details, not the most exciting thing in the world, but one of the details was about how much national insurance we'll be paying and who pays it. And I was interested to read that pensioners will have to start paying national insurance. And I will be totally honest, I didn't realise pensioners didn't pay national insurance. I thought if you worked, you'd have to pay it. How are they getting away with it scot-free? Because look, national insurance seems like in some way it is meant to be, at least nominally, sent off in the direction of sorting out healthcare. Who's using an awful lot of healthcare? It's the pensioners. I've been in some waiting rooms and there's a lot of pensioners in there. Saying that pensioners shouldn't have to pay for national insurance is a bit like saying we should all, as a nation, pay for flood insurance, just not the people who live near rivers. They're the ones using it. Now, there is a pushback argument on this. It was in The Guardian. They were saying that pensioners have already paid their fair share. And I will totally agree. Say what else they've done. They've already taken their fair share of cover, because if you're 65, you've had 65 years of being able to go to the hospital if you needed to. You've done well out of it. I don't know what kind of injuries people would have had back in the 1950s. I presume they were worried about things like this.
You there? Yes, you. Yes. Does your workplace employ women? They can be dangerous. Their preoccupation with embroidery and dainty hands can cause accident. So, best keep your distance. Women in the workplace. When will the madness end?
So whatever they were worried about back in the 1950s, I kind of look like I was dressed like I should be chasing a story in New York back in the early days of print media. But
it's good. Nice use of tech.
I got the technology and a new hat. Those people who listen to Time FM will be aware of that new hat. It was like a big deal today. But so they've benefited from having all of that healthcare for that long. So if you're still earning, why would you not still be paying for it? Because if the pensioners don't pay for it, I feel sorry for the young people, and it's not often I feel sorry for the young people. I don't really like the young people. They pick on me for wearing chinos, so we're not really friends. But they've had an absolute terrible time of it. A disease comes along that doesn't particularly do them in as much as it does other people, and so what we decide to do is knacker up their education. Step one, brilliant, and that's fine. I'm not making a political point. I think it is good that we ruined the education of some young people. I don't like the idea of young people knowing more than me. And my two options were read more books and learn more, or knacker up their education. Boom, take a slice of that. And, I don't want to have to be competing with young people to try and get a job. They've got more energy, and I'm going to need to keep earning because it looks like I'm going to be paying national insurance when I'm old, which is an absolute rip-off. I've already paid my fair share. But young people have had a terrible time, and we also ruined any fun they could have. The last 2 years, they've had to stay in during their peak years. I've stayed in for 2 years at this age. What have I missed? Absolutely nothing. What would I have done anyway? Would have laid on the sofa and watched a lot of Netflix. I had the same time. There must be, and I'd love to know the number of it, thousands probably of people who would have lost their virginity over the last year and a half and couldn't. They have really suffered for what we've asked them to do. And now they have to pay more of the cost towards all the healthcare. Unbelievable. So that's one way to look at it. I also think it's unfair for the poor people. Big shocker that the Tories bring that in. Let's look at the rates that you pay for national insurance. Here's where the fun begins. There's a flipping table on the screen. Let's get stuck into employee national insurance rates. Let's ignore the 0% one. It's just going to make the maths a bit trickier. Up to, and now they say £4,189 a month just to bury the number. That's just over 50 grand a year. Up to 50 grand, you pay 12%. Over 50 grand, you pay 2%. They're both about to go up by 1.25%, whatever it is. But if you're earning just over 50 grand, like 12% of what you earn is going on national insurance. If you earn just over 100 grand, your first 50 is paying 12%, your second one's doing 2%, so you're averaging like 7 point, I'm not sure what it'll go up to, but you're paying less as a percentage. So the rich people are still doing well out of this. The poor people are suffering and the young people are suffering. Damn it, that's my demographic. So then you need to add in the cap. They've added this cap in. There's a total amount that you'll have to pay towards care. £86,000 over a lifetime. Now, it was mentioned in Parliament earlier on that if you are a posh person living in the south, like you do, Eric, and you have a house that's going to be worth, let's say it's like 586 grand, you'll have to spend 86 grand, but you've got £500,000 worth of assets sitting around there that they won't touch. If you're where I'm from, up in Mansfield, if you have a house that's worth £186,000, you fancy is what you are. But then if you spend £86,000, you're only left with 100 left. Unbelievable. They've managed to make sure that posh people keep more of their money whilst poor people spend a bigger percentage of the little that they have. And we are not peasants in the temple trying to impress Jesus. It'd be nice if we just keep a little bit of our money. Damn it. Well, to find out more about this, I'm joined now by an MP from some posh southern area. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
So it's unfair for the northerners.
Not at all. No, people in my constituency, the educated and affluent, will live for a long while and therefore have to pay for a lot of residential care. Whereas in the north, with your Greggs pastries, that won't be a problem.
All right, so we just eat Greggs all the time, do we?
No, I mean, in the south, people will have to fund care for both parents, whereas in the north, you don't know your fathers, so that is a saving.
Oh, we eat Greggs, we don't know who our dads are.
Well, now, you must remember that national insurance is only paid by those with jobs. So...
Oh, right, so we eat Greggs, we don't know our dads are, we ain't got any jobs.
Yes.
Don't you hate it when they make good points? Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.